Sukses ya apa em, Peter masuk udara. Mas Arga monitor itu saya apa background saya. Hmm. Suara saya kedengaran nggak? Ya jelas kedengaran. Kedengaran ya. Oke. Um, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Baik, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening to everyone. I would like to welcome everyone in this online meeting room, especially to Ibu Dekan. Ibu Dekan is the Dean of Faculty of Humanities, Ibu Dr. Nurhayati M. Hun. And then I also would like to welcome our distinguished speaker for today's guest lecture, Dr. Leo Eslo. And then our beloved colleagues, the lecturers, professors of Faculty of Humanities who have joined this morning session. I also would like to say hello and good morning to the library information science student and of course other students from the Faculty of Humanities. And I believe there are also some colleagues who are librarians and also lecturers from Undip, Diponegoro University, and from other universities who have kindly joined in and willing to learn about interesting and trending topic for today. So as today event, we have a guest lecturer about artificial intelligence, about how to use and how to optimize and how to maximize the um, artificial intelligence for teaching, learning, and also for research. Before before we continue the guest lecture, uh, we would like to apa namanya ya? We would like to present. We would like to hear. Let's sing together about our Indonesian teams. Is Indonesia Raya. Saya lupa. Bisa bantu ini ya? Siapa salah satu? Lutfi kali ya. Bisa dari YouTube ya. Coba dulu. Pernah nyoba kan? Share screen aja kan? Langsung diputar aja coba sekarang. Okay, thank you. Now I would like to welcome our distinguished Dean, Ibu Dr. Nur Hayati, to give opening speech. Please welcome Ibu Nur Hayati. Thank you. And then terus nanti Ibu Dekan. Oke, sip. Terima kasih. Thank you. Thank you, Ibu Dekan, for the opening speech today. And we're going to the next session. I would like to hand over the session to the moderator. The moderator is Ibu Nuraini Perdani. Ibu Nuraini Perdani is one of the lecturer in library and science in Faculty of Humanities. Beliau Ibu Perdani have an interest in apa ininya risetnya berapa yang tinggi ya ya oke. Ibu Perdani is currently teaching apa itu namanya library management, especially for the higher educations. She also have interest on researching user behavior who use information and many information resources, including libraries, especially higher university libraries. So I would like to hand over to Ibu Dani. Udah, kemudian Bu Dani ya. Dan
cek masuk nggak sekarang?
Ya, masuk.
Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this lecture held by Library Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Diponegoro. With the theme today is leveraging artificial intelligence to support teaching, learning, and research in higher education. And today, we will have a great speaker. He is Profesor Leo. Ini panggilannya Leo atau gimana Pak Hedi? Prof Leo.
Leo ya. Leo.
Profesor atau dokter? Karena di ininya dokter.
Saya dokter ya. Bingung saya. Dia itu profesor atau dokter, tapi itu terus dua-duanya. Atau ya.
Okay. Dr. Leo. Dr. Leo Lo served as the Dean and Professor at the College of University Libraries and Learning Science at University of New Mexico in the United States, and he's the President-elect of Association of College and Research Libraries, and currently he leads his university's AI empowerment initiatives, which aim to elevate the community's AI literacy and teach intelligent, responsible use of the technology. And now, Dr. Lo holds a doctorate degree in higher education management from the University of Pennsylvania, an MLIS from Florida State University, and master's degree in both screenwriting and survey research. And now, please welcome our good speaker today, Dr. Leo, to come and giving his information, giving his speech to all of us. Please welcome Dr. Leo. And then selesai. Sesi tanya jawab berapa termin Pak Ed?
Saya jawab, menurut saya dibuka saja untuk 3 orang dulu gitu. Cuman kalau saran saya sih lebih baik ini apa? Satu pertanyaan jawab dulu gitu.
Oke,
Satu pertanyaan dijawab dulu gitu. Jadi biar
sesi Q&A, 3 penanya, kemudian maksimal kita 2 jam ya Pak, seperti biasa guest lecture. Berarti nanti jika ada waktu lebih, bisa dibuka sesi termin kedua. Begitu Pak Heri. Oke, ya. Oke, this is the end of the speech of AI from Dr. Leo, and the next session will be closing, maybe. Setelah ini apa Pak Heri? Closing langsung atau seperti apa? Kan sudah ditutup, kemudian saya... Oke, the session with Dr. Leo has finished, and now I will call the MC to come back here. Mr. Heri, please. MC-nya di sini, bukan Pak Heri ya? Kira-kira.
hello, how are you, Dr.
I'm
Leo?
good. Hi, Henry. Nice to meet you in face to face and
Nice
see
to
you.
meet you. Yeah, um, we are so delighted that you're willing to giving us a thought about the for our topic today. Is so very, yeah, it's very grateful for us. And now it's in the evening. It's 7:30 in the evening now there in
That's
New
correct.
Mexico.
That's correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have a very big time difference.
That's right.
Now
Yeah.
it's 9.
Yeah, I'm glad we're able to schedule it, that it works for us. So yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah.
My pleasure. Yeah.
So how would you like this to work? Would you be giving like an introduction, and then I'll go into my my talk?
Yes. So I will be the one who will be the the master of ceremony. I mean, I will open the lecture first. I'll give
Okay.
like 2 minutes, and there will also be my dean from the Faculty of Humanities. She will also say a little bit of hello to you and also to all of us. Maybe it's about 2 minutes from her, Ibu Nur Hayati, and then one of our lecturer, Ibu Dani, Miss Dani, she will moderating the lecture, and I think she will introduce you like 2 or 3 minutes, and then yeah, then it will be your time
Okay.
for giving a talk.
And I do have a PowerPoint, and I will be able to share my screen right when it's ready.
So that will be helpful.
Yeah.
Leo, yeah.
Okay. Great.
And we will start in like at 9:30. Is that okay?
Say that again.
We will start at 9:30. I mean 9:30 in here. I mean like 7:30.
Yeah.
Is that
5
okay?
minutes. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, is this going to be recorded? Is this
Oh yeah. Is that okay with you?
Yes, it
If
is.
we are
Just
recording it?
yeah.
Okay.
And will
Yeah.
you be
Yeah, it is recorded and it says YouTube here, but actually it's private. So
okay.
it's not, yeah, but if it's okay to you, we would like to share it as well, the recording, because some of our lecturers and students who are actually willing to join, but because this is still like a semester period, some of our friends still not able to attending it.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Recording is fine.
Have you been to Indonesia, Prof. Leo?
Can you say that again? Because you're breaking
Have you
up a
been
little
to
bit.
Indonesia? Oh, okay. Let me check. Have you been to Indonesia?
No, I have not. I would really love to visit one day.
Hmm. I just changed my Wi-Fi connections. Hopefully now it's smoother than before. Hmm.
Yeah, it seems to be okay. Better. It seems to be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Sure. Yep. Okay, no, I think some of our students and lecturers and our colleague has been joining in. So we started now, Dr. Leo.
Sounds good.
Oke. Selamat pagi, Bu Dekan. Masih mute, Bu.
Oke, selamat pagi Pak Eri. Good morning, Profesor Leo.
Oke, kita mulai ya, Bu.
Yeah.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to everyone, to our guest lecturer, for our today's guest lecturer. So first, I'd like to welcome the Dean of Faculty of Humanities, Ibu Dr. Nur Hayati M. Hum. Thank you for joining in. And then I also would like to welcome our distinguished speaker for today's guest lecturer, is Professor Dr. Leo S. Low from the University of New Mexico. So just for information, we have a very big time difference here with the Dr. Leo. Now we are now here in Indonesia. It's 9:30 or 9:32 in the morning, but in New Mexico and Illinois is now it's 7:30 in the evening, isn't it? Yeah. So I would like to say really thank you for to Dr. Leo for his willingness to sharing about our very attractive and interesting topic now about artificial intelligence. And I also would like to welcome our beloved colleagues, the lecturers, professors from the Faculty of Humanities. And we have six undergraduate programs, Dr. Leo, and we also have 4 postgraduate program here from the Faculty of Humanities. We have a Library Information Science, we have a English literature, Indonesian literature, history, and social anthropology, and Japan culture and language. So it's varied. So we are from the Faculty of Humanities. I also would like to say hello and good morning to the Library Information Science student, and of course other students from the Faculty of Humanities. And this guest lecture, I also believe is attended also by our colleague librarians and lecturers, both from the Diponegoro University and also from the other universities from Indonesia. Because this is, I think, this very current and trending topic here for us in higher education, with the development of so many applications of the AI, and it's a big question for us how to optimize it and how to maximize it for us, for our research, for our teaching and learning. So thank you. This is for the welcoming. So before I hand over to the Dean of Faculty of Humanities, I would like to also, let's sing together here and sing the lagu Indonesia Raya. For Ludwig, can you start the music, please? Thank you. Thank you, Lutfi, for sharing the Indonesian theme song. So I would like to hand over to Ibu Nur Hayati for giving a welcoming speech to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Herianto. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May God bless you. And the honorable, the guest speaker here, welcome Dr. Leo SLO from the Dean College of University Libraries and Learning Services, University of New Mexico. Welcome to our Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Diponegoro. I'm glad that you may rest your time for giving us new nuance in the knowledge of artificial intelligence here. Thank you very much, Dr. Leo, and we hope that we will have some what we call new knowledge regarding to the impact of EA, and of course a positive impact of EA for supporting teaching and learning program. And the honorable the head of the study program of the library sciences, Dr. Herianto, I'm home, and then also all of the lecturers in the Faculty of Humanities, and my beloved students, Dr. Leo, the participants here is not only student from library sciences, but the student from almost all of the study programs in our faculty. And you know that I have a class now, and I ask my students in this class to join your lecturing. Yeah, thank you very much. And also, I'm very happy because as we know that artificial intelligence has impact, has exposed in many aspects in our life, but we need that the positive impact of AI is also on teaching and learning program. That's why several times ago, I asked Dr. Herianto to find the um, proper guest lecture for giving a webinar here, and Dr. Herianto recommended that Dr. Leo is the best speakers, yeah, here. Okay, thank you very much, and Dr. Leo, because the time is limited, and I'm so sorry. Actually, I want to join this webinar, but I have a meeting with the rector, with the rector in the university. But I asked Dr. Herianto, I will follow the recording of your lecture. Thank you very much, and we hope that someday you can go to our university physically, not only virtually. Yeah, and as a dean, I apologize if in this webinar, in this visiting lecturing, there is some problem regarding the technique or any other. I apologize. And again, thank you very much. And should I open this case lecture, Dr. Harry?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. Usually, we start our activity using Bismillah, Dr. Leo, and here. So by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I open the guest lecture with the topic of leveraging AI to support teaching, learning, and research in higher education, and with the guest speaker of Dr. Leo SLO. Thank you very much. Please join the lecture, all of the participants. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you, Ibu Nur Hayati, as our Dean of the Faculty of Humanities. So next, I would like to hand over the session to Ibu Nurani Perdani. Ibu Nurani Perdani is one of our lecturers from the Faculty of Humanities. currently she is teaching university libraries management, and she also interests on researching user behavior, user studies, and how especially student and lecturer using university library. So Ibu Nurani will also moderating the talk of Dr. Leo for the next sessions. Please, Ibu Nurani Perdani, thank you.
Okay, good morning, Dr. Leo. The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Diponegoro, Dr. Nurhayati M.Hum, our great speaker today, Professor Leo SLO, and the Head of Library Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Diponegoro, Bapak Herianto PhD, and also our beloved lecturer in Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Diponegoro, and then our beloved students of library science, and also all of the participants who joined this webinar with the theme with leveraging artificial intelligence to support teaching, learning, and research in higher education. So today we will have a great speaker from University of New Mexico, Professor Leo SLO. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nuraini Perdani. You can call me Mrs. Perdani. I am one of the lecturer in library science in Faculty of Humanities Universitas Diponegoro. And this morning in Indonesian time, I will be a moderator. So before the speech will you give today, I would like to tell the audience about who is our good speaker today. Professor Leo served as the Dean and Professor at the College of University Libraries and Learning Science at the University of New Mexico in the United States. And now he is the President of Association of College Research Libraries. And currently, he leads his university's AI empowerment initiatives, which aim to elevate communities' AI literacy and teach intelligent, responsible use of the technology. And Dr. Leo holds a doctorate degree in higher education management from the University of Pennsylvania and MLIS from Florida State University with his master degrees in both screenwriting and survey research. So now I would like to welcome Prof. Leo to sharing about his information, especially about artificial intelligence in higher education to all of the participants in this webinar. Please welcome our good speaker, Prof. Leo. The time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the warm welcomes. I'm very excited to be here with you, and it's great to see so many of you here. So let me give me a little bit of time to share my screen to make sure you can see my slides. Okay. All right, tell me, can you see my slides? Thumbs up, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So once again, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to talk with you about AI or generative AI. This is kind of my my passion now since it first got exploded onto the scene. So let me just show you what I will talk about today. So this is kind of the outline of the talk. So we'll talk a little bit about what is, generative AI, to some of the basics. And also we know it is powerful, but there are some issues. So what are some of the things we need to be aware of with that? And prompt engineering. I don't know if you've heard of that term before, but we'll talk a little bit about that as a new skill set. And then the bulk of the lecture will focus on generative AI in higher education, is it going to transform learning? That's the question, right? And a lot of people have asked or be kept questioning whether AI will enhance critical thinking or destroy critical thinking in learning. So that's something we want to spend a little bit of time on. And we'll circle back to prompt engineering. There's a framework for it that I developed. I'd like to share it with you and then you can tell me what you think. And in AI in higher ed, in education in general, there's a lot of talk or a lot of issues with cheating and academic integrity and academic honesty. So that's something we'll spend a little bit of time on. And also AI literacy. What is that? Why do we need to think about that? And then finally, I'll finish with a little bit of a case study, which I'll share with you a project that we have done at University of New Mexico, and then you can help see whether you may want to try something like that at your university as well. Now, I'm going to ask you a question first. If you can type in the chat, have you tried ChatGPT? Just answer yes or no. I'll give you maybe 20 seconds or so and just type it in. All right, I'm seeing that. Wow, a lot of yeses. A lot of yeses. So far, it seems like everybody have typed yes, of course. Right, because it's probably the most popular software in the world right now. And I think you've probably seen the news that when it first appeared, it kind of became the fastest growing software. So fantastic. You've all tried it. So ChatGPT came out in the US exactly 1 year ago. It was in late November last year, and it made a huge splash, right? And now AI has been around for a long time, but ChatGPT is a subset of AI called generative AI, which are models that are capable of basically creating new content. So this could be anything from images, music, to natural language text. Now, these models operate by understanding patterns in the data that they are trained on and then generating new content based on these patterns. And these are basically statistical models that, it guesses what should come next. So in a way, it doesn't really understand what it's talking about, but it's amazingly effective in many ways. That is immensely powerful. And a lot of people, even computer scientists, are still trying to figure out why it works like this, right? But these models are trained on a large amount of text data, and they have shown remarkable capabilities. And you've used them, you've seen them. It creates very human-like text, and even creating original images from textual descriptions. So to try it out, I use a AI image generation model called Midjourney to create several images for me. So I prompted it to create a baby panda in an infinity pool on the roof of a skyscraper. So it created that within seconds. And then I said, create a poster for me for my library in the kind of a style of a 70s graphic designer, Saul Bass. And it did that within seconds. How about I just say, give me the concept of AI and library, and give me an image like that. It's completely unique. And then finally, I uploaded my own picture and say, hey, make me into a character in a Pixar movie. And it did just that. So it is quite amazing. And this is just the beginning, right? The potential uses of this technology really stretches beyond all of this. It can, help us with scientific theories where AI could generate hypotheses based on existing data. It can personalize entertainment. And you may have heard that a lot of kind of negotiation going on in Hollywood right now, where the writers are, arguing with the studios on who could create screenplays or movies using AI. But it's very likely in the future that movies will be personalized based on, let's say, what you like, what you want to see. You have a completely personalized, tailor-made movie for you. And so there are a lot of possibilities of that. And obviously, you may have seen these headlines where, you know, these are very powerful software. It has passed exams from law schools and business schools. It's passed medical exams, and also AI is coming into search engines like Bing. Microsoft search engine is really utilizing the chat function of it, and Google Bard is doing the same thing. So it's very likely that searches in the future will change, in that instead of like the Google where you type in something and it gives you a list of resources, the chat function just gives you an answer. Now that's a completely different landscape for information discovery. Now information is librarians' business, so that is something we need to pay attention to figure out what part can we play in it, because right now it's not, a lot of times it's not accurate, it's not transparent how they find the answers, and a lot of the data they use are not, you know, we don't know what that is. So there are a lot of things we need to pay attention to. And also on the right side, a lot of lawsuits going on with copyrights, especially. Getty Images suing AI using, you know, their images, and bottom, Sarah Silverman, a comedian in the US, and other writers are suing ChatGPT. Although today there's a brand new news coming out that the court is I would say on the OpenAI side is kind of putting a kind of a pause on Sarah Silverman's lawsuit. I don't know the details at this point, so I'm keeping an eye on it. And also, there are a lot of studies now showing that AI, how companies are integrating AIs and how effective that is. And you might have heard this popular saying, people are not going to be replaced by AI, but people who do not use AI will be replaced by people who use AI. So here's a study conducted by several researchers with the Boston Consulting Group, and they found that the consultants who use AI were more productive and produce higher quality results than those who didn't use AI. So in order to use AI intelligently and responsibly, people need to have some basic knowledge of it. So let's just call this skill set AI literacy. I'm going to ask you a second question. How familiar are you with the concept of prompt engineering? 1 being, I don't know anything about it, to 5, I'm very familiar with it. Just put it in the chat. 1 is, I've never heard of it, I don't know what it is. Or 5, you kind of, you know, you're very familiar. All right, I see a 2, 3, 4, okay. Yeah, mostly so far are 3 or below midpoint, which is kind of fair, because I've done another national cup survey here with librarians, and most people rate them the kind of AI literacy or prompt engineering kind of skills below the midpoint. So that's fair. Now, I genuinely believe the world has changed since ChatGPT came out, because all of a sudden, coding or the ability to code is no longer a barrier for most people, where the power of AI is accessible to pretty much everyone, not just the tech people, because now we can use natural language to code. You know, just basically it's the way to talk to a computer. So generative AI, I think, is potentially can break down a lot of barriers and democratize capabilities in really unprecedented ways. Therefore, there's a new era where nuanced communication with machines is possible through a new skill set called prompt engineering. Now, prompt engineering is a bridge between human thought and computational power. It's a bridge that has profound implications for many, including us, librarians or educators. So prompt engineering is basically the language you put into the machine to ask it to do things, basically. And it allows us to fine-tune our questions, our instructions, our prompts, to engage the AI from the really simple to the really sophisticated. And the potential here is enormous. It's only limited by our own imagination and understanding of the technology. Now, why is it relevant to, let's say, librarians or educators? Because prompt engineering is really about asking the right questions or giving precise instructions to generate the most useful information. And information is our business, right? Let me show you a job ad you may or may not have seen. It's for a company called Anthropic, which is one of the main competitors of OpenAI. Now, look at this app. A leading company it has its own large language model, Claude 2 or 2.1 now, which is just as good, or some say even better than Chat or GPT-4. So they're hiring prompt engineers / librarians. It's a brand new job category that did not exist until this year. So a shout out to all the librarians or library students in the audience. Our skills in organizing and retrieving information aren't just recognized, they are highly sought after. So if you need proof, look at the salary. $250,000 US to $375,000 US dollars a year. Now, how much is it in your currency? I looked it up today. That's how much. That's quite a lot of money, right? So I'm going to come back to prompt engineering in a little bit to talk about how it may be able to help us transform teaching and learning. But let's switch gear a little bit and turn our attention to higher education. Now, we also saw all those headlines of GPT passing exams and students using it to do homeworks. And education is probably the most high-profile sector being disrupted by generative AI. So one thing we want to do is, or one thing we kind of look to are guidance. So, and the U.S. Department of Education published a report earlier this year in May 2023. So it's the report on artificial intelligence and the future of teaching and learning. And so there are some key points within that. I will share it with you and see whether you think you agree with them. First of all, is the importance of AI literacy for educators, including librarians. And this report highlights the need for all educators to have AI literacy. This involves understanding how AI systems work, their applications in education, ethical implications, and the ability to engage in dialogue about AI. And also, there's a need for educators to get involved in AI design and implementation. So the report advocates for active involvement of educators in all stages of AI tool design, development, adoption, and management. And so our insights as users can enhance relevance and effectiveness. Also, preparing for and addressing AI-related issues like bias. The report notes that the need for awareness and preparation around broader implications of AI like bias, unfairness. Leaders should be prepared to confront these issues. And also developing guidelines for ethical AI use. And the report recommends developing practical guidelines customized for specific educational contexts to ensure ethical and effective use of AI. So that's the U.S. Department of Education's guidance. Let's go down one more level to institutional guidelines. Most universities right now do not really have official policy on AI use, but I can see us developing these. Right now, they're mostly guidance, right? And here are a couple I want to share with you from some of the bigger universities. So a couple of examples. Harvard University, it recently released guidance focusing on security, privacy, responsible procurement, and coordination issues. And they cautioned against using these public AI systems for confidential university data and really emphasizing reviewing content accuracy. And they want to do risk assessment before adoption. Now, the Russell Group, which is a group of elite research UK universities, including Oxford and Cambridge, their principle emphasized developing AI literacy skills for students and staff. And they highlight the need for open discussions about AI tools. And so what can we learn from them? I don't know if your institution has a policy or set of guidance yet. For us, University of New Mexico, we don't really have one, but we're in the process of developing one. But we can learn from these. So there's some similarity, between these guidance. They both, aim to promote responsible and ethical use, AI literacy among students and staff. There is a focus on adapting teaching methods and assessment to incorporate AI tools appropriately, and also maintaining academic integrity and high standards, and also monitoring, reviewing policies as AI technologies changes so fast. So there are some differences. The Harvard one is more comprehensive in addressing data privacy and security. The Russell Group, places more emphasis on collaborations between institutions and open discussions on AI tools. So we talk about students using AI, right? So there are some challenges of, academic integrity in this kind of AI era. So definitely there's a rise in AI-assisted so-called cheating incidents, the increasing reports of AI use in student completing assignments. Because it's easy to access, these are freely available and they can use it to generate essays and do homework and everything. So AI can be misused by students, if they submit something that's not written by them, just copy and pasting and submitted that as their original work, that I would say that is academic dishonesty, right? And we are seeing more students coming into libraries with citations that are made up. These citations don't exist. We know that ChatGPT and other large language models can hallucinate or make up stuff. So we're seeing a lot of students coming in with those. That's a sign of them not knowing what these tools can and cannot do. So these could be teaching moments when they come to the libraries. And also there's the difficulty in detecting AI-generated content. I mean, AI can write like human, and there are no distinctive marker or anything that we can kind of, to know that for sure that's written by AI. And AI detection software have a lot of issues. They don't really work. Right now, I'm chairing my university's academic honesty task force to kind of evaluate whether we even want to have AI detection software at all, and reviewing our academic honesty policy. But there's some possible solutions, I think. First of all, is to raise the AI literacy level of instructors so that they can make that informed decision whether they want to use AI in their classes or not. If so, how? In what way? A lot of the times when students so-called cheat, is that because there are unclear instruction for the assignments. If the instructor doesn't give any guidance on whether they can use AI or not, then what is cheating, right? So that's important for instructors to be knowledgeable and be able to decide, how they want to use AI tools at all. I would love for them to know a little bit more so that this technology is here to stay. It will keep moving, whether you like it or not. So I think it's up to the teachers to really think about how they can use it for assignments, and also incorporating AI ethics into the curriculum. I think that's really important. Having said all that, I think these are all really short-term issues. They happen because the teaching hasn't caught up to the technology yet. The much more important and longer-term questions are, with the machine being able to do so much, Why do people need to learn now? What skills do they need to learn or in order to be successful in the world in the future? And how do we teach them those skills with these powerful tools? So even though we're still trying to figure out, what specific skills people will need, I think critical thinking skills are the ones that people are most concerned about. So what is the future of teaching critical thinking skills when AI can do the work? So at this point, let's circle back to prompt engineering. Many new users of ChatGPT, sometimes they say, "Oh, the output is not very good. The responses are kind of generic, low quality, or they don't provide what they need." I think that happens because AI systems like ChatGPT, while possessing vast knowledge, they lack the nuanced comprehension of language that humans have. We can think of it like talking to an extremely intelligent alien. To direct ChatGPT effectively, we need to be very precise in specifying what we want. And this is where prompt engineering comes in, the art of crafting prompts that elicit the desired response. Remember, we talk about using natural language to code. So the quality of the output is directly related to the quality of the input. To prompt effectively, a student, a user, needs to be able to, first of all, formulate the problem. What are they trying to solve, right? And then they will have to be able to articulate it. That's communication skill. And then they have to apply that evaluation skill to evaluate the output and make adjustments in the prompts to refine the response. They need to be able to verify the accuracy of the information presented. That's information literacy. So perhaps in the future, it's less about even writing, but it's more about prompting. So I developed a framework that some librarians in the US are trying it out, adopting in their instruction. I call it the CLEAR framework. It basically provides 5 core strategies to optimize interactions with, large language model like ChatGPT through thoughtful prompt design. So the framework emphasizes being concise, logical, explicit, adaptive, and reflective when prompting AI. And I'll go over each one in a minute. I think this framework is a useful introduction to prompt engineering, especially for people who are new to LLMs and those who are, who have felt frustrated or disappointed with the results they've gotten so far. So I'll just quickly go through each one. First one, concise. We want to use clear and simple language. Generative AI models are trained on large amounts of text data, learning the patterns, right? So using clear and simple language helps in aligning your prompt with these learned patterns, potentially improving the accuracy and relevance of the response. Also, you want to prioritize critical information. These models are designed to recognize and prioritize information based on the initial set of instruction provided in a prompt. So by presenting the most information first, you can guide the AI to center its processing power on that. Also, removing irrelevant details. I mean, sometimes a lot of unnecessary words can mislead the AI into generating off-topic responses. So by eliminating these unnecessary details, we're optimizing its ability to focus on the core question, thereby enhancing the quality. So it's like moving the noise from a signal and making the message clearer and potent. And you can see the examples. The first one is very verbose, a lot of words. You probably don't need all of that. So if you can make it more concise, you can just say, like look at the second bullet point, list the benefits of renewable energy. You start from there. And then once you have the response, you can go deeper into that instead of giving it really kind of a meandering kind of, instruction. But then again, it's all about, experimenting. So that's concise. The second thing is structure information in order to be logical. this approach of conveying information is like building a house brick by brick. Each piece has its piece and place and purpose. So when crafting prompts, we should arrange our questions or statements in a manner that builds upon itself, creating a kind of a logical progression of ideas. So this helps in creating a narrative that AI can follow easily, reducing the chances of, receiving jumbled or incoherent responses. So an example, where I start by describing the history of renewable energy. Following that, explain the current trends in renewable energy, and then finally forecast the potential development. Right, this guided through a chronological exploration of this topic. So usually it will come back with a very a clear time order structure. And also we want to establish context and relationships. Establishing context helps in grounding the conversation, providing a clear backdrop that guides the AI's response. An example, given the surge in electrical vehicle usage, explore how this trend relates to the increased demand, and particularly focusing on the interconnected dynamics of these two phenomena. So it clearly defines the context, the surge in electric vehicle use, and then ask the AI to analyze the relationship, right? And also ensuring a logical flow. A logical flow is the backbone of any kind of coherent communication, just like we talk with other humans. Each segment should seamlessly lead to another, creating a kind of natural progression that's easy to follow. So, for example, discuss the benefits of the renewable energy in a structured manner, beginning with environmental benefits, and then move on to something else, followed by an analysis, and then concluding with global implications. This prompts directs the AI to build a logically flowing narrative, right? So this is another thing that helps a lot. The third one, E, explicit. You want to define the instruction and format. So to receive a highly targeted and useful responses, defining the instruction and format is really important. We can guide the AI to think and formulate questions in a certain way. At the same time, you can specify length, sources, terminology to get exactly the kind of responses you need. At the same time, you can set the tone. Do you want it to be professional? Do you want it to be conversational? And reading level too. If I want something that's explained in a very simple way, I'll just say, hey, explain it to me at a high school level, for example, or at a graduate level. So you can be explicit about what you want. And also you can provide an example for it and say, hey, this is what I want. This is like this paragraph. Answer it like this. So providing an example, being explicit about it, what you want, can help a lot. So the first three principles were more about structuring the prompt. The final two principles more about a mindset or strategy. So being adaptive is be able to look at the output and be flexible about it, because most likely you won't get the perfect response the first time. That means you can take a look at it and kind of rephrase and restructure your prompts to get exactly what you want. You can adjust settings and parameters. There are several different ways you can kind of change the way AI responds, like what they call temperature. You can kind of mess with the statistic probabilities of how it works to get you more creative or more kind of conservative or traditional responses. And then the adaptive mindset is you really ask you to use your creativity to try different approaches. And then finally, reflective is kind of a longer term way. You want to use the experience, the interaction to reflect on learning about how AI works, the patterns. You can see, if you use certain prompts over time, you see how it changes, how it responds to you, and also use use the lessons learned for our future learning and identifies areas for improvement and use insights to further refine strategies and engagement. This is more about learning how these AI works over time. So what are the implications? I think prompt engineering could redefine writing by training learners to craft effective prompts, leading to improved analytical and communication skills. I think this method sharpens critical thinking and the ability to dissect and address complicated topics. So I think these are some of the key skills can be enhanced by prompt engineering. Analytical thinking. People can develop logical problem-solving capabilities for informed decisions. Communication. It enhances the clarity and articulations of complex ideas. Critical evaluation. It encourages the scrutiny of information for validity and relevance. And the reflective practice, it promotes introspection for continuous learning and self-improvement. And then creativity stimulates innovative and out-of-the-box thinking. And also collaboration. We can see the AI as a co-creator, a collaborator, blending human creativity with AI's data analysis to gain deeper insights and new solutions. We've mentioned AI literacy many times, and there are many reports out there now. And I'll just point to a couple. We talked about the Department of Education already, but also McKinsey, which is one of the biggest consulting firms, they, looking ahead to the next 3 years, they predict that the adoption of AI will really reshape many roles in the workforce. Generally, they expect more employees to be reskilled than to be separated. Therefore, learning AI is really important. So I'll wrap up with a little bit of what we're doing at UNM. So right now I'm leading the university-wide AI empowerment initiative. The main purpose is to raise the AI literacy level of instructors, students, and staff, and helping people to use AI both intelligently and responsibly. But at my own college, the College of University Libraries and Learning Sciences, we started experimenting much sooner. We want to learn by doing. So when GPT-4 first came out, I think it was in March, I tried it immediately and found it to be much more powerful than the free version, the GPT 3.5. So I really wanted to see if we could find ways to incorporate that into our work, basically to make our lives easier. So as the dean, I developed a exploration program to experiment with it. It's a pilot 12-week program to explore the practical applications of generative AI tools, specifically GPT-4. So we recruited an interdisciplinary group of 10 participants from across library departments and university press and our learning sciences academic program. Our goals were basically to enhance our organizational capabilities by identifying tangible use cases for AI in our workflows, to do more with less, well with tech, and develop proficiency and inform perspectives through hands-on learning. So trying to raise our AI literacy level, and also trying to seed an innovative culture that, to show the rest of the college or the university that we proactively adopt new technologies, kind of a culture change initiative as well. So the program included an introductory 2 weeks of training. We watched videos, we have chatted, we try it out a little bit, and then each person decide on a personal individual project they want to use AI for. And then the following 8 weeks were basically individual projects, applying AI to their work. And we'll meet every other week. Is almost like a community of practice to share lessons learned, challenges, things that work for them. And then the final 2 weeks, just evaluating outcomes and sharing findings. So we have people representing a diverse skill level and attitude toward AI, from people who are really embracing it to a couple of people who are really skeptical about AI, actually. So that encouraged constructive dialogue and kind of reinforced that AI should augment and not replace human roles. So let me share a little bit about the explorers. We have 10 people from libraries, technology, learning science, learning design, mixed skill level. And here are some of the projects. One person used AI for research data plans and manuscript drafting for the university press. One used it for instructional content creation and student support. One tried to train AI in cataloging and metadata. And one reference librarian tried to test AI's capabilities for generating FAQ for our students, and communications. And my own assistant used AI as her assistant to help with a lot of the calendaring and taking minutes. So here are some testimonials. So one person said this program changed AI from a threat to a collaborator. And one person said, I gained confidence in using AI to enhance my daily work rather than replace it. And the freedom to experiment made AI less intimidating. And there are some key learnings, hands-on experimentation increased their comfort with AI. And also prompt practice built actually critical skills. And tailored projects amplify engagement. One thing we learned is that if you just sit down with AI without anything in mind, it's really hard to get going. But if you actually want to use it to solve something like a particular task or project, that makes it easy to get into it. But there are a lot of challenges. Data privacy concerns. A lot of people are very unsure about what they can upload or input into the AI model. Prompt engineering is difficult, but essential. And the AI lacks subject matter expertise. So that means the user needs to have some subject matter expertise in order to know whether AI is, right or wrong. So that's really kind of a little case study. We have a lot more, but I think we're probably at time. So I'll be happy to answer questions if you have or comments and share your thoughts. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Leo, for giving us wonderful insight, knowledge about artificial intelligence, especially in the last 3 slides about the case study in UNM, University of New Mexico, with the project of GPT. Okay, next we will have a question and answer session. The first, we will have 3 participants who will give a question to Prof. Leo. Any one of you who wants to be a participant with a question, maybe? You can raise your hand or you can send a message in the chat column. Please. Okay, Prof. Leo, we have Rizky Destrianto. He asks about, in the context of academic research, if we use generative AI tools such as ChatGPT or BARD, do we need to acknowledge it or treat it just as a tool like other research aids without citing or acknowledging it? So what's your opinion on this matter?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think so my answer is it depends, right? And that's why I said a lot of the times it depends on let's say if it's for a class, then it depends on the instructor, whether that instructor wants you to use it in what way, and that is specified in the assignment. If it's specified, you just follow that instruction, right? If it's not, then my thinking is, if you use it to generate ideas, right, you're not asking it to write for you. if you use it to generate ideas, then I mean, I don't think you even need to acknowledge it, or basically it's almost like you using a library database or using a search engine in some ways. But that's just my opinion. But if you actually use it as almost like a co-writer in some ways, even though publishers don't accept GPT as a co-writer, as a co-author. So if you use it in that way, then maybe you may want to acknowledge it, to say, I use this to write this, or help me analyze this. And there are already LibGuides out there to teach people how to cite it. So you can look for it online as well. Right now, it's unclear because nobody has really set any rules at this point. If you're talking about research and submitting to scholarly journals, they all have very different requirements. I think that some of them will say, we just don't accept, well, most of them will say, we don't accept it as a co-author, so that's out. But many of them will say, we want you to acknowledge that how you use AI in writing this paper. Some even just say, we don't accept anything that has any AI help. So it's really important. So that's why I say it depends. You have to look at where you're submitting to, whether it's a journal or your professor, how they define what is acceptable or not. But if you ask for my opinion on this, my opinion is, if you use it to generate data, generate ideas, or almost like talking it through as almost like a peer or a friend, then it's just research. But if you use it to write and you use it to analyze certain things, then it's probably I think it's very appropriate to acknowledge it in that way. So, but I think all of this is still forming right now.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Leo. How about Rizky Desrianto? Is it enough with the answer from Prof. Leo? Or you want to ask anything after the explanation? Okay, we still have time. So any one of the participants who will ask Prof. Leo about artificial intelligence in higher education, maybe in library, or in sharing about how the use of AI in your institution with all of us.
May I ask a
Okay.
question to the audience too? If people want to type in their responses in the chat too. So, okay. Let
Okay,
me answer this one first. Yeah.
this is one of our lecture from library science, Mr. Jumino. Prof. Leo, do you agree or not if GPT will make users, such as students, dependable to the machine and make them lazy and dull to be critical students eventually?
So once again, my answer is it depends, right? So if you think about all the great technologies from the past, think several hundred years ago when the printing press was first invented. Before the printing press, there's only one book, and everybody has to memorize that book, right? And when printing press was invented, everybody can have a book. So you don't need to have that memorization. And the question at the time was exactly the same. Will that make students lazy and not learn how to memorize things, right? So that didn't make students, stupid, but we just use our memories or mental energy for something else. It's the same thing with when the calculator first appeared. It was, people don't need to do math in their heads anymore. Would that make them lazy? Would that make them kind of stupid? it didn't happen. We just use our mental energy for something else, right? And then same with internet, saying, oh, we can just look for everything, right? So I think it's the same thing with something like ChatGPT or AI in general. Right now, we feel that, well, we can use AI to do a lot of the work because the work assigned to us was based on previous technology. When the teaching is caught up with the technology, when the assignments, for example, ask us to use AI tools to enhance our quality or enhance our thinking, then I think we can move forward and not be worried about this making people dependent on the machine and make them lazy or dull. I think right now we feel this way because we haven't figured out how to incorporate that into learning yet. So I'm hopeful that when some creative thinkers and teachers out there, hopefully one of you can, come up with some really, really innovative, ways of teaching and learning, and so that we can actually take advantage of this technology to make us even better than before. In the world of library research, so I'm taking it means that people who do research using the library, is that? If I'm understanding that correctly, so like I said earlier, with let's say the search engines changing into more like a chat, so that will impact library research quite a bit. Because in the past, let's say if you type into either Google or a library database, it will come up with a list of articles, for example, or a list of websites. And then you, as a user, apply your information literacy skill to evaluate which one is relevant to you. Okay. And then you take out whatever you need from those. If it becomes like a generative AI chat way of looking up information, that eliminates that part where, it's the machine that picks out everything for you, picks out the answer for you. But we don't know whether that answer, how they comes up with that answer, or whether the answer is correct. So that means that you have to verify you have to know the model well. You have to trust that model, or the model has to be transparent about how it comes up with an answer. So that takes a lot of steps, right? You can see a lot of different countries have AI policies that's really, asking the tech companies to be transparent in their algorithms, in the training data. I think that all comes into play in library research. A lot of the vendors are coming up with their own AI to put a layer on the library databases, so that it's basically trying to be their own kind of ChatGPT or Bing search, but using their own data, their own articles. So eventually, I think that will happen. But how good they are going to be, I don't know, because right now they are testing it. They have asked me to test it with them and all of that. I haven't seen anything that's super exciting at this point, and I think they're still trying to figure it out. On the kind of related note, we want a lot of librarians, especially, we want all the articles to be open access, to be freely available to everyone, right? That's kind of the ideal, is that we don't have to pay for it, or people don't have to pay to access those either journals or articles or data. And right now is, if you want to make something open access, you pay the publisher several $1,000s to make it open, right? So that's the value they put on it. In the future, I feel like they will be very protective of this, of their content, because they don't know, because training it will be very important, and also they maybe don't want other companies to be able to use their data to train their there are other models. So in that way, that means the value of that article will likely change. How? I don't know, but it seems like it will have some implications for open access in the future.
Okay. So, Mr. Jumino and Mr. Setiawan, is there any question again from you? Oh, yes. Mr. Jumino asks about how to educate students in order to use AI such as GPT properly. Would you
Right.
like to
So,
answer about this question, please?
yeah. So my college, we have a learning sciences academic program. So we are already offering a AI literacy course for undergraduate students at my university. It's an 8-week course. So the way we think people should how to educate them to use it properly and intelligently, responsibly is basically learn a little bit about the technology so they understand what it is and how it works in some ways, not going really deep into the computer science part, but just understanding is a statistical model is trained on, all of that. Generative AI is a subset of AI in general and deep learning, all of that. So after learning a little bit about that, then we go into the ethics part, understanding, okay, some of the data may not be, they may contain biases, they may be kind of skewed, they may not even be accurate, because right now, let's say ChatGPT is using data from the open web, and not everything on the open web is right. So understanding that a little bit more, so they know that the ethical part of it, maybe, there are a lot of lawsuits going on, like I said, maybe some of these are not legal, we don't know. So be able to know a little bit more about that, then they can think about, okay, with all these in mind, how can I use it in a way that is okay? And also understanding it that, the strengths and weaknesses. Like I said, it hallucinates, not always telling you the truth. It generates things out of thin air sometimes. It is so knowing that is weakness. So you should not be relying it on facts and information. But like I said, it can generate a lot of things. It can generate ideas. It can, if you give it explicit information or prompts, it can do a lot of synthesizing for you. So those are the things that we want students to be able to learn about, to take advantage, leverage the strengths, but avoid the weaknesses. So that's what we're doing with the AI literacy course, and also coming in from different angles, from the legal angle, from the professional angle, and so that they have a kind of wider perspective of what it means in their life moving forward.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Will, for your clear answer from Mr. Jumino. Okay, in this webinar, we also have students, some students. Oh, Mr. Harry and Mr. Prasetya and Miss Nabila Rizky. Okay, first of all, I'd like to give the chance to Mr. Harry first. Please.
Thank you. Sorry for not showing video, because it seems like when I turning off the video, my internet connection is getting a bit better. Sorry. So, Dr. Lo, if the library would like to support our students' AI literacy, do you think that we should start from introducing students with a different different AI-based application, or is there anything that would be a good thing to start with? Thanks so much.
So you broke up a little bit, but let me to restate the question, let me know if I have it right. So you're asking if we want to raise the AI literacy level in the library, which tool should we use first? Is that correct?
Yes. So if the librarian, I mean, the library would like to support
Oh,
students, yeah, AI literacy. So I mean, what the best thing to start? I mean, is it with the introducing with the different AI based application, or yeah?
yeah. No,
Maybe.
yeah. So in order to support students' AI literacy, we need to raise our own AI literacy first, right? So that's one thing, is that that's what I'm trying to do at my college, is, create a pilot program just to experiment with one tool at a time. So we picked GPT because it's the most popular. Everybody, like all of you have used it. So that's something to begin with. Once people have learned a little bit more, then we'll get into conversations. People share, even tutorials or other courses they have seen. I think it's really important to acknowledge the emotion or psychological part of this, because a lot of people are afraid of change. I know people who come to this, webinar are, people who are very interested, at least have some interest in AI, but not everybody is. A lot of people are very anxious or critical of this. I know it's not a perfect technology yet, but this is the worst it will ever be. It will only improve from now on. And librarians or library people tend to be cautious people. So a lot of them want to wait until it's perfect to use it. It would never be perfect. The internet is not perfect. We're still using it, right? So we just need to learn how to use it. So I would say, if you are interested in getting your organization or libraries to start thinking about or using it, the best way is just form communities of practice, some group, and say, hey, let's get together and just use it for one of your individual things, and then start sharing. As you gain more of that, you can kind of help students a little bit more. And when other people see that you are helping students in a way that they couldn't, they may, oh wait, maybe this is a skill set that we need. So yeah, it's hard to just say, order people to, you need to do this. I think it takes a bit of persuasion in that too.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Herianto and Prof. Leo. And then we have a second question will help by Mr. Prasetyo. Please,
Okay.
maybe you can introduce yourself first.
My voice sounds clear.
Nice.
Good. Hello, Mr. Leo. I'm DC Prasetyo. I'm from University of Muhammadiyah Pontianak. Really far away from Undi, but I think I have my colleague, Mr. Herianto, amazing doctor. Okay, maybe my question, similar with Mr. Herianto, and I think that AI is still far away from resembling humans, but the need is enough to suppress human in specific abilities in certain professions, like we are librarians, especially in repetitive tasks, which might turn to create a user class, and the other. But my question is, what kind of creativity should librarians have? What can library to do to stay relevant in the age of AI like today? Maybe just thank you.
Yeah, to stay at the front of AI, is that the question?
Yes. What can libraries do gitu at this time? Because what we need to serve to the users, because they're like, I don't need to go to library because we have information on my phone or on my computer and the other.
Okay. It's actually quite interesting because a lot of my colleagues at different libraries in the US, they are seeing that a lot of instructors or faculty come to the libraries for help now because they don't know anything about AI. And somehow they turn to the libraries and the librarians for help. And I don't know about, whether that's the case in other places, but I think at least in the US, libraries tend to be very embracing of technology. So I think one way to do is, because there are a lot of questions about ChatGPT and other AI things, how do they work, whether they're reliable. So one thing I'm kind of working with my library staff is that I want them to experiment with different AI tools and also find ways so that they can teach students and other faculty on using them. And at the same time, and this is just not librarians, but for the entire university, I'm working with IT now to develop a set of criteria to evaluate AI tools so that we know which are the ones that we should use and which are the ones we should, hey, this is kind of not aligning with our criteria, so it's not ready for university use. So I think librarians, this is actually a very good opportunity for librarians to take the leadership role in that, start learning about these different AI tools. And there are a lot of them for research, for literature review, for writing, for other things. If we can get a head start on, being kind of experts in some of these tools and do workshops, do trainings, webinars, and let other people know, this will set us up for the future. So they will come back to the library and say, actually, we need your help. We cannot figure it out on our own because it's moving so fast. So that's my strategy, at least.
Okay, thank you. Loud and clear. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Prasetyo and Professor. And the next one, we have one of our students from Library Science, Universitas Diponegoro, Miss Nabila Rizky Adinda. Please.
Yeah, am I audible? I think it's yes. Yeah. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nabila, and such as Mrs. Dani said, I'm students from Diponegoro University, and now I'm majoring in library science. And yeah, I think it is a great discussion here, and I was recently talking a lot about AI and librarians in my paper and my task in my studies. And yeah, I think one of your slides talking about the bias of the AI itself, right? I think it is the big issues in this kind of existence of this AI itself. And my concern is, I think it is hard for me, especially, to recognize those kind of biases in the AI itself. And according to you, how far it could impact the learning process in higher educations, and how teachers or even librarians itself could avoid those kind of issues. Yeah, I think that's all about my questions.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because identifying the bias in that is difficult right now because we don't know the training data and we don't know how the algorithm work with selecting whatever responses, or how it comes up with the responses. Bias happens because we're human. These are all written by, the training data were created by human. And there are biases on the internet, there are biases in the libraries. There's nothing that's neutral. So everything has biases in them anyways. But If we know what that is, we can identify them. That I think that's the crux of your question, is that we don't know enough about these models. Therefore, I'm really paying attention to the a lot of the national policy, because once the regulations are set that they require these AI companies or tech companies to disclose all of that, the training data, the how it comes, the transparency of the algorithms and all of that, that will help. But during this period, it really cannot. That means that if we use it to in the educational context, then we have to be super careful in that. So we want to avoid its flaws in some ways and kind of focus on its strength. But at the same time, I think it could be a very good teaching exercise to say, okay, students prompted, get a response. Let's look at it. Where can we identify biases in that? Why is it saying things like this? If you use a different prompt, would it come up with something different with, let's say gender biases or race biases or anything like that? Would they come up differently? I think there are there are quite a few studies out there, or at least articles that talk about that. So I think that's a worthwhile or interesting exercise, or the teaching exercise, to even try to say, hey, let's use it as a learning opportunity. How can we teach students to identify biases in some of the responses too?
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll just add another thing, because in the US, for example, if you write in a tell me about leaders or leadership, immediately you'll say it's a man, it's a he, right? So that's the bias. So if we use something like that to teach students to kind of look for those things, that may be another a good learning activity. So.
Okay, Nabila, how about the answer from Prof. Leo? Is it enough for you?
I think it's all clear. Thank you.
Okay, we still have time. If there are students who wants to ask Prof. Leo, but before the students maybe have questions, honestly, I'm interested with the case study in UNM, University of New Mexico, with the project GPT-4. Prof. Leo, may I know about how long this project was held, and maybe I really wish a suggestion how to start a project like the study that you do in UNM. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's interesting, because I know that so ChatGPT is free, but not a lot of people pay for the paid version. I've done my studies. Usually, out of the people who use ChatGPT, only about 7-8% of them actually pay for the GPT-4, right? But GPT-4 is actually quite a lot more powerful, and that's why I wanted my librarians to try it out. And not just librarians, the people in just, the staff and other people and faculty as well. And that's why I actually use GPT-4 to help me design this project. As a 12-week pilot experiment, basically, and I just said, sign up if you want us to pay for your GPT-4 subscription, and I just want you to come up with a personal project that's related to your work and use it on that. And that's what people did. More than 10 people volunteered, but I said 10 people now. So we pick out 10 people, and some of them are very engaged, some of them less so, because, but everybody showed up and talked and shared. I think that is the most important thing, is that people start using it in some ways. And I highly recommend each library to try something like that. Just get a group together and use it together for whatever purposes. I think getting people to talk and share, that is the most important thing. But like I said, I share some of the thing, the comments, and we did a pre and post program surveys to ask them how they feel. We get a general increase in AI literacy. We get an increase in one feeling more confident in using it. So that's the kind of thing I feel like many of them feel more comfortable talking with students about AI. Not everybody work with students, but those who do, and they get a more in-depth, nuanced understanding of how these things work. Obviously, these things change almost every week, so it is important to keep up. But now they have a little bit of head start of other people who have not even started doing that. So I definitely encourage people, organizations trying to get a group of people together. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prof. Leo, for giving us some information about ChatGPT project in UNM. I think this will be a nice project to try. Maybe in my college in Undip, especially in library science. Okay. For all participants, anyone who have questions to Prof. Leo? We still have time. Okay, if there is no question again, I think I need to say thank you very much to Prof. Leo for giving us a wonderful speech, a wonderful information about artificial intelligence, especially in higher education.
Sorry for the technical problem, Prof. Leo.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think there's some
Sorry for the
internet.
technical problem. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry about it. Yeah, I think as there's no more questions from the students and from the lecturer. That's really great insights that we got from these conversations and from this morning talk. It really gives us ideas, especially for us, the lecturers. What do we do about this, the development of different application of AI-based software, and also how to integrate the AI, so many AI applications to support the information services. So the lecturers and the students become AI literate. And I think it will be important how to best use of this current technology so that support our teaching, learning, but also researching. Uh, I would like to thank you, Leo. I think hopefully we are able to collaborate more. Some like for research and Nur Ain Pardani and also for the librarians.
Check. Okay. Sorry, Prof. Leo, there is a problem with our connection. So before we will end this session, we will have a photo session with all the participants in this webinar. And I think I will lead this session. Okay. In the count of three, we will have a pose. Let's start with page 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cheers. In the next page. 1, 2, 3. Say hi. And then page 3, I will say 1, 2, 3. Smile. And the next page. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And the last page. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Leo. It's nice for having you today.
Thank
Very-
you.
Yeah, hope it's very helpful for us. Thank you.
All
And
right.
thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night, Dr. Leo.
Yeah. You have a good morning. All right. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Terima kasih juga yang sudah datang semuanya. Terima kasih Sujani. Terima kasih Lutfi. Terima kasih Nabila. Ini buang-buang waktu supaya publishing. Terima kasih semua teman-teman mahasiswa angkatan 2021, 2020 Pak Yoga yang menjauh di sana, tapi masih tetap monitor. Dan Bapak Ibu semuanya yang bergabung di sini. Mohon maaf atas segala kekurangan dan segala kendala teknis. Tidak tahu kenapa hari ini jaringannya tidak sebagus kemarin.